Yes, everybody. I was in Israel yesterday, so got back late last night, so if I fall over, that's the reason. Excited today to bring you up to speed on where we are with what I said 6 months ago, give or take, and that was that we were going to take 6 months to do everything that we could do to position Sun Devil sports and Sun Devil athletics for the future, which meant getting ready for the new conference, moving into the Big 12, getting ready for the new world of sports with the expansions of NIL and all the other things that are happening, getting ready for all of the changes that are going on in college athletics, all of which are very, very complicated, positioning ASU's finances for sports in ways in which we are going to continue our tremendous progress, the new stadium, the new facilities, other things that we're doing. And so what we've been doing the last 6 months is reconstructing ASU sports, of which ASU athletics is a part, ASU sports around a new model, a model in which we're going to operate ASU sports, Sun Devil sports, like the rest of the university, highly entrepreneurial, centralized support, centralized facility support, centralized everything. And in that, Sun Devil athletics, then we were looking for and spending some time assessing the skill set of our internal staff, looking at external folks, but spending time focused on who could be the best executive to take Sun Devil athletics forward into the world ahead. We wanted to get everything past us, the NCAA investigation, which is now complete relative to ASU, launch ourselves on new trajectories in football and other programs. That's underway. Advance ourselves with building a financial structure in which there is no debt to the university for athletics like exists at other institutions. There's no financial stresses that we're not going to be able to manage going forward. Expansion of NIL, which we put in place the last 6 months. All these things going on. And what we found was that the best executive to lead us was one that was with us, that has over 20 years of experience in sports administration, sports business, sports development, sports marketing, sports management, is a Sun Devil through and through himself, who's a very, very able executive capable of operating within the ASU system, which is high speed, highly entrepreneurial, highly driven by new ways of doing things, as you can see by the way that the rest of the university has advanced. And that's Graham Rossini. We're excited to announce his appointment as Director of Sun Devil Athletics. Graham's going to spend some time talking with you. You'll see his bio and his background. Tremendous experience here with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tremendous experience and work that he's done here at ASU. Tremendous training in business operations and business management. And so we're very excited about Graham coming in and moving us forward into this new era. Graham's going to talk for a while, and then Graham will take some questions. And if you have questions of me, I'll take some questions. So, Graham.
Well, thanks everybody. Just excited that I'll get close to the mics a little bit closer. All right, here we go. Good morning. Just excited to be at this point in our process. Excited to get on the other side of the announcement. We have a lot of work to do and some tremendous opportunities in front of us. And what I'd like everybody to know is that I'm a Sun Devil, first and foremost. I feel like I've got credentials to lead us into what comes next, but out the gate, I'm a proud Sun Devil. That's always been a big part of my background and my DNA. And I can't wait to represent this entire community of Sun Devils who care so much about what we do here at Arizona State University. And thank you to Dr. Crow. Thank you to Dr. Jim Runn, who's been an unbelievable mentor and guidance over the last 6-7 months preparing for this. Thank you to the Arizona Board of Regents. I don't take this opportunity lightly. I'm excited to get to work. I'm excited for the challenges and more importantly, the opportunities that are in front of us. We have a group of passionate Sun Devils ready to take the charge on what comes next. And we have great momentum behind us. We have the full strength of this university. We're going to work to earn the full strength of this community behind us. And we can't wait to get to work. I do want to have a special thank you to 3 people who have been critically important in my ability to get to this point today. One is Pat Murphy, who I had the chance to spend 8 years with as a member of Sun Devil Baseball, currently leading the NL Central Milwaukee Brewers, a great Sun Devil as well. The next would be Derek Hall, who I had 13 years to really spend and learn from. Learning from a Sun Devil while in a different setting, but again, in this market, building relationships in this community, having relationships with the businesses that we're going to lean on and rely upon. A great Sun Devil, and then obviously for Ray, for the opportunity to come back home 3 years ago. And was able to learn a lot from Ray and Buffy and our time together. Wish them well in the next chapter and excited to build on the momentum that's in place. So I'm here for you all. I want to be responsive and answer questions. I know there are many. and excited to kind of get into the day and the work to come. So thanks for the coverage. You all are an important part of the conduit in getting our message out to this community of support and this passionate fan base. And so we know on short notice, everybody responded to be here today. It's an unbelievable setting here at Mountain America Stadium. This is the backdrop of a lot of our best moments when you think about how we use this setting to welcome our first-year students. The first experience they have as a Sun Devil is in this stadium. We want the football stadium and all the activities that take place to here be a big part of their backdrop and a big part of their pathway while they're here with us on campus. And then if we do it right, they're here to celebrate graduation at some point later. And so no appropriate or better setting, in my opinion, than to make this announcement and get into the work that comes next, the Mountain America Stadium. Pat Tillman looking over us.
The yelling is the football team in a celebratory breakfast
Yes.
for the highest grade point attainment in the history of ASU football.
I think I heard Kenny yelling at him as well. So a lot of excitement. Thanks for being here, and we're excited for the work to come. So I think we're going to do some questions. Or, yeah.
As a Sun Devil, what's it mean for you to have this opportunity?
I don't know that I've fully processed the weight of it, but I know just driving into campus this morning, started to get the butterflies for the first time. And we've been hard at work. We've been really working on the jobs that need to be done and preparing for what's coming at us in the immediate term. But the gravity of the moment is starting to weigh in a little bit as I'm starting to get reached out to from friends and people who share this ASU responsibility together. I've thought a lot about how everything good in my adult life happened the moment I came to ASU. And I think that's a really important part of my journey, is that my relationships, my friendships, my wife Allison, who's here, was a volleyball letter winner on a tournament team here at ASU. And as I reflected back, kind of understanding that ASU's been this backdrop for the last 25 years, and the best moments of my adulthood have happened here professionally, personally. We have 2 kids, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, that are going to grow up as Sun Devils. And Dr. Christine Wilkinson gave us the book Protectors of the A, if anybody's seen that one. It was the first book that our son Rhett came to love and know before I even came back to the university. And so I'm just honored. I'm proud. I'm proud to be a Sun Devil. This place is enormously important to me. I can tell you I didn't necessarily seek out to become an athletic director. I was motivated to come back to the university and help Sun Devil athletics because it's been such an important part of my life and my opportunities. And so I'm grateful, I'm proud, and I'm just excited to represent all Sun Devils.
Man, first of all, congratulations.
Thanks, Cam.
You've had a unique position the past few years. You probably got to listen to a lot of frustrations from fans.
Yeah.
See it, experience it, kind of be in the weeds, and especially with your relationship with a lot of coaches. We've heard other athletic directors promise things. I guess, how will you be different?
Yeah.
What you're hoping to take ASU athletics to?
Yeah, I sense it, and I see the opportunity. I mean, we all talk about the brand of ASU and how powerful that is and why it maybe hasn't necessarily translated over athletics. I think there's a lot of reasons for that, but ultimately we're focused on what comes next. We're focused on relationships. The core of what we do is our head coaches and our student athletes, and that will always remain. And our job in administration is to find the resources and the connections and the abilities for them to have success. We have unbelievable success stories across our 26 sports. Our head coaches are all elite at their profession. We have 650 student athletes from all over the world that are choosing to come here. It's our responsibility to nurture their environment. It's our responsibility to make sure that they're plugged in, they're prepared, they're resourced, and they're connected in all the ways. And so, it's really getting back to basics. We're going to be focused on relationships. We're going to be focused on connections. There's no better way to emotionally connect to anything than through sport. And we happen to be in this incredible setting at Arizona State University with top flight athletic department, and we want to bring those things together. And so we want, as we mentioned, the full strength of ASU is behind us now more than ever. We know that's real, that's significant, that's a commitment from Dr. Crow and ASU leadership, and we want to utilize that to the best of our ability. And so again, focused on relationships, focused on connections, and rolling up our sleeves and getting to work.
Graham, congratulations once again.
Yeah.
You talked about you being a Sun Devil, and you talked about relationships. How much does you already being here and being here for so long and working with the D-backs and developing a lot of relationships along the way, how much does that help you, to hit the ground running?
Yeah, I think that's a unique advantage in this next iteration for Sun Devil athletics. And I spent 13 years in Major League Baseball. Baseball has been a big part of my backdrop, playing the sport since I was 4 years old. And I think from 4 to 40 was connected to a team consecutively in that moment. And you learn a lot in that setting, right? And the modernization of college athletics and where it's trending, we need to be resourceful. We need to be focused on connections and corporate relationships and revenue generation to invest back in our student athletes. What's so unique and exciting about this setting for me is that we're not trying to satisfy shareholders. We're not trying to, build equity for an ownership. We're trying to reinvest dollars into our student athletes. And we have 650 people counting on us to enrich their experience. And so I do think being in the marketplace, having 25 years of history in the Valley, this is home for me. This is the longest place I've lived, being born on the East Coast, growing up on the Gulf Coast, and then coming out here for ASU and never leaving. And so I do think that being in the marketplace with a deep understanding of our fan base, being a fan myself, being connected to the business community and our supporters here in the Valley, that's a unique advantage. And then alongside the deep understanding of ASU, this is a fascinating, incredible university, and it's an enterprise, and we have all of this ability to impact society in everything that we do, and the ability to understand what makes the university go, what the leadership is focused on, and how do we bring that into the athletic space is no doubt, in my opinion, a huge advantage.
Graham, is that a commitment to NIL, basically, in a sense?
Yeah, absolutely. We are 100% committed to NIL. And as Dr. Crow mentioned, over the last 6-7 months, really reinvesting our focus in there. We're lucky Tim Hovick is here, Santan Ford, Mountain America Credit Union, Desert Financial Credit Union, Sprouts, Adidas, and others that have stepped up on behalf of NIL. And we're lucky the Sun Angel Collective has taken ownership and really a leading voice in building NIL support across our fan base. That's an enormous partnership for us now more than ever, and we're locked arms with the leadership of the Sun Angel Collective. Encourage anybody watching and listening to join as a member of the Sun Angel Collective, and we're going to do this at scale, utilizing a membership model with the Sun Angel Collective. We're going to bring our corporate partners into the conversation as well, and we've got great momentum. And when you look at what Coach Dillingham and Coach Hurley have been able to accomplish recently, it's not by coincidence. These are elite coaches, these are skilled recruiters, they've got great networks in their respective sports, and they're showing that all things equal, and when we're reasonable and we're competitive in NIL, high-level recruits want to be Sun Devils, and that's a really important part of our journey. And so, we're looking at all aspects of how do we enrich that student-athlete journey. We don't need to lead with NIL. We want to be very focused on that. But again, we're selling education, we're selling quality of life, we're selling an unbelievable network. Coach Dillingham talked about it, a year and a half ago in his press conference of Sun Devils for life. That means something. That's a true mission for this department, that we're connecting to all generations of Sun Devils. And as recruits come to this space, invest in your time here, invest in the relationships, build a connection, because it's going to last long beyond their time competing as athletes. It's build a network. And that's the beauty of NIL, in my opinion, is we have an unbelievable metropolitan area. We have emerging economies all around us. We have incredible corporate support, just being a large city and a large, dynamic, fascinating university. We want to plug those entities and companies into NIL. A lot of our student athletes spend their entire life playing the game, their entire life with a chance to earn a scholarship and go represent a university at a high level. And that comes at a price for them. They're making a sacrifice. They're compromising their ability to have a high school part-time job or a college internship or do a work study or build professional development. And so when they graduate, they're relying on their degree and they're relying on their athletic intangibles to go propel them in the real world. It's a competitive job market out there, and we want to use NIL as a tool for professional development for our student athletes. And so they're building vocational training, they're building professional skill sets, they're building a networking connection. So when they graduate, they're able to use that full weight of this experience. Elite education, unbelievable competitive setting, and a chance to be an accountable teammate, a great communicator, et cetera, and then have this NIL background as part of their journey, so they're prepared to take on the real world. We hope they play professionally. We hope they have Olympic aspirations. We hope they get all those opportunities, but Mother Nature is undefeated, and we recognize that. And so preparing them for life after playing is an enormous focus of ours.
It's unprecedented time, especially the class action lawsuit and supports of that stuff. So how would you describe the challenges right now, especially financially for Intelligent Department?
I don't see any challenges. I see nothing but opportunity specific here to ASU. And the beauty of our model, the beauty of our scale, the beauty of our impact across the enterprise positions us very well moving forward. And again, when you hear Dr. Crow talking about the investment that the university is making and will continue to make in athletics, the ability that we have to engage at scale, the ability that we have to connect all over the Valley, all over the region, in a corporate setting, in a leadership setting, I'm excited for the path ahead. I think ASU has a unique advantage as we step into the new iteration. Obviously, these class action lawsuits are starting to come to bear, and we're getting a lot more clarity on what life for the other side of the settlement may look like. I'm bullish on ASU. I'm very excited about our position, our model, our foundation going into what comes next.
Graham, what about Michael Crow's call about the way athletics is going to function, giving you confidence in the vision, and was that important in taking the job?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a front seat view of watching Dr. Crow and the leadership team at ASU grow the profile of this university. I graduated in 2002, so I was just before that next iteration of ASU. I'm forever proud of my degrees. I've got an undergraduate degree here. I've got an MBA from W.P. Carey. The value of my degree has only accelerated over the last 20 years. And so, again, being in the marketplace, understanding how ASU has been able to kind of grow up and really impact society and be dynamic in research, dynamic in educational outcomes, dynamic in community support and societal change. That's important to a university. And again, we want to lead with high-end athletics, but we don't want to miss the opportunity to sell ASU and all the good attributes that come from that. And it's amazing what's happened at this university in all aspects of it. And the expectation, and Dr. Crow has been very clear to us, is that he wants athletics and the leadership of ASU wants athletics to operate commensurate with the rest of the university. And I don't think anybody would argue with the quality of our degree programs, the quality of our research output, the quality of how we're impacting society. And so now we've raised the stakes for athletics and we're expected. I like the challenges. I like the high expectations. I want to put our best work into the most important outcomes. And so I very much see alignment with the direction of the university, Dr. Crow and the other leaders. And so that's a highly motivating factor for me taking a leadership role in an organization that's ready to thrive.
For the media, the fans, the supporters of ASU, the last 6 months have seemed like a long time of people wanting to know who's next, who's going to be the next AD. For you,
Yeah.
who wanted this position, what was it like for you
Yeah.
waiting to, and what's it like to finally say, okay, I can get going on this thing here?
I would have waited 6 more months for the opportunity of a lifetime. And again, whether it was going to take 6 weeks, 6 months, whatever that process was, I remember an early meeting with Dr. Crow saying, I'm not concerned or uncomfortable with any version of the process. I want to use this opportunity to showcase my skill set and my passion for ASU and how I feel like I'm uniquely prepared to lead this department. We have a team approach. We've got some great opportunity with Lisa Young joining our athletics department, Scott Nelson taking on a leading role, Christina Wambacher, who's going to lead a lot of important work within the athletic department, the rest of our leadership team, our entire department. We've been spending this last 6 months preparing and doing a lot of work. And not for me to worry about the process. You know, my direction was put your head down, get ready, understand the things about the university that you may not be as familiar with, and be prepared to come out of this and lead with confidence and optimism and project that on the athletics community. So the process is, irrelevant in my opinion to where we are today. It's an opportunity of a lifetime, and that's what I've been preparing myself and excited to get ready for.
College athletics is such a resource-heavy game these days. Where do you see ASU currently positioned, and then what kind of support do you see from this kind of overhauled and revamped athletic department?
Yeah, obviously, we're focused on resource acquisition, and the structure of our staff moving forward reflects that. We have people with great backgrounds focused on business relationships, revenue generation, et cetera. We have tremendous opportunity. We've got this unbelievable stadium. We have Mullet Arena, we have Desert Financial Arena, Phoenix Municipal Stadium, Farrington Softball. We have 4, 5, 6 sports now that have a chance to be great convenings of our fan base. And we want our fans to be plugged in. We want our fans to engage and be excited about what we're doing. We're going to obsess over our fans. I will gladly make that commitment on behalf of not only the athletic department, but ASU. We're looking at that experience from driveway to driveway. The moment somebody leaves their house, they're on their way to campus for whatever they're here for, we want to be thinking through what are they experiencing as they get close to campus? What's that interaction like when they hit the parking lot? What's the warm welcome that they get as they walk into our stadiums and arenas? How are we obsessing over all the touch points on a journey? A lot of you know my background working in the D-backs and Derek Hall, and we're adopting that same fans first mindset. We will obsess over the people who obsess over us, and we're proud to represent our Sun Devils in that way. And so we will have highly competitive teams that are competing and representing ASU, I'm sure of that. But around that, we're not going to rely on wins and losses to build a community of support. We're going to obsess over the details. We're focused on big moments. We're focused on little details, and we want to make sure that our fans understand we welcome them back in. We want to obsess over their journey while they're with us and make sure that we're celebrating that together.
Kenny is available for a couple questions, and then Dr. Crow.
Just so you can know what wild that noise is coming.
Coach, thank you.
We have a team event. We had the highest team GPA, 3.0 or 2.99. We'll round up to a 3.0 in school history. We'll round up, but it's just kudos to the academic staff and the support that we get here for academics. It's bar none. It's better than any place I've ever been. And it's a reflection of this changing culture of college athletics. You've got to be able to change and adapt, which I know Graham will do a phenomenal job of. And then you combine that with the culture that we're building, and to have the highest GPA in this crazy time of college athletics is, in my opinion, shows a direction that not just the football program's in, but just the direction of ASU athletics as a whole.
Having said that, how excited are you for Graham? You know, kind of being able to relate to him, being a Sun Devil, knowing how much it means to him to be here and stay here and be in this community.
Yeah, he's passionate about the place, and once again, college athletics is different now, and you have people that want to build it for the long haul, right? Because you can go to places and flip them and leave, right? Or you can go to places and build it, and those are two different models, and you got to be able to do that the right way. And with a guy like Graham who wants to be here, wants to build it the right way, with a president who's been here his entire career and built something special, I think we have a core of people that want to build this and want to do this the right way, and not just the quick fix that may be able to get it done now, but can actually sustain something over a long period of time. So couldn't be more fired up.
Kenny, how about the commitment to doing it, building relationships and just kind of the investment into the program?
Yeah, and I think, this is about Graham today. This is an unbelievable opportunity for him, unbelievable day for ASU athletics to have a guy like him who's passionate about this place, take leadership. And that's what I'm excited about, is somebody that bleeds maroon and gold, somebody with the same level of passion that I have for this place, is somebody that I get to work alongside of and work underneath, is somebody that has that passion.
When did you first meet Graham, and what were your first impressions of him?
I mean, one of my first impressions was when he was closing one of the biggest deals, corporate sponsorship deals for the stadium. And I'm like, okay, this is a guy who gets things done. He's task driven, and he gets things accomplished. And I think so many times there's people who talk well, people who give good speeches, people who can say the right thing, and then there's people who actually get things done. And that was one of my first impressions with Graham, was not only that he's a Sun Devil and he's passionate about the place, but he actually solves problems and actually closes deals. And I think that is something that excites me, is we're getting somebody that actually gets tasks accomplished, not just creates tasks. And there's a lot of people who create tasks. There's few who get them accomplished.
I guess you identify him because his passion for this university is much like yours.
100%. We clicked pretty much immediately, and we've been working close together for the last 6 months. And he's just he gets tasks accomplished. He works together. Have everything I've asked him in the last 6 months happened? No, because he's talked to me. We've had discussions, said, hey, this maybe is a better way to do it, and he's right. And I think that's what all I want, is somebody who's willing to challenge me, somebody who's willing to push the university to a different level. Are we always going to see eye to eye? No, we shouldn't. You shouldn't always see eye to eye, but you should always have the respect level that we're both in it for the same purpose, and that's to get ASU football, ASU athletics to the next step. And we both know it's coming from a place of heart and passion. And when you know you're working with somebody that has the same passion you have, you naturally respect them more, and you naturally want to listen to them and give them your ear.
Yeah, it's good. We'll get Dr. Crow. Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Questions?
Dr. Crow, can you better explain you said about debt in ASU and
Yeah, a lot of athletic programs around the country, they borrow money from their universities and then they carry debt with their universities. And so we've eliminated all of that. We have built a structure now for finances which can weather any hurricane going forward, any tumult that we might encounter. We found ways. We built the Athletic Facilities District as a legal entity which generates the revenue to build things like this stadium. We've created all types of other financial structures that are going to allow ASU athletics to be able to advance. We came through the pandemic with no debt. We came through the pandemic with no layoffs in the university, no reductions in salary, no furloughs. So we've built a financial structure, and what's happened in the past was that athletics was considered a separate thing called an auxiliary enterprise. It's not an auxiliary enterprise now. It's in the core of the enterprise of ASU itself. And so we've changed the financial model that's going to allow us to have our athletic department focus on victory and success of our student athletes academically and athletically. And the rest of the enterprise is going to worry about the bigger financial issues.
how does that impact decisions on spending, revenue generation, et cetera?
There's going to be revenue generation is still a responsibility of every unit within the institution, including athletics. So every unit, every director, every dean, everyone has to generate money, raise funds, build partnerships, find philanthropists that are willing to invest, generate revenue through participation, every unit. And so what it means then, therefore, though, is that we're going to have an opportunity for the athletic department to not be burdened by trying to carry the totality of all of its fixed costs. The rest of the university didn't have fixed costs that they had to worry about, but the athletics department did. We've eliminated that, restructured that in its entirety. So Graham, wherever he went, where'd he go? Graham and his team will focus on filling the stadiums, finding the best coaches, the best athletes, winning the games, producing great student athlete graduates, raising money, building NIL funding, building corporate sponsorships, raising philanthropy, but they won't have to worry about the core things that have drugged so many athletic departments down.
So Dr. Crowe, earlier in the year you talked about wanting to streamline operations. That's why the process took 6 months. A lot of fans were questioning why the process would take 6 months if you're going to hire somebody internally. Why not give more consideration to external candidates? What would be your answer to those fans?
Yeah, well, so 6 months in the scheme of things, and we're trying to build a multi-decadal trajectory here. We're trying to build something for the next 20, 30, or 40 years. So taking a few months to reconstruct ourselves financially, to build our NIL presence, to change the financial model for the institution, to complete the NCAA investigation process. All of that needed to be done before we take this next step. So that's the reason for the timing.
And as far as that, not really considering external candidates, wanting to hire from within?
We considered every possible candidate you can imagine as as we're thinking about things. We had innumerable people present themselves to us. Innumerable people that we already are aware of. I've been in this job for 22 years. I've interacted with dozens and dozens and dozens of traditional athletic directors from traditional type modeled programs, and what we needed was the executive that we've hired.
When you make a hire like this, so important, the relationships are important, especially relationship with you. Having known him and seen what he can do, how valuable is that, knowing who you already have, and you guys can kind of piggyback on what you've already accomplished?
Fantastic. I think I was calling him from my recent international trip, and in fact, I know I was. And so it's what we have in Graham is an executive who understands why the university is here, why athletics are such an important part of the university, why we have to work together as a team, not as two separate things, why this has all got to come together to build Arizona, to build Greater Phoenix, to build the Sun Devil Nation. He understands all of that, so we are in complete alignment.
When did you know he was the man for the job?
Well, it's a process. So you watch someone as they're moving through meeting after meeting after meeting, issue after issue after issue. And so, Graham constantly stepped up to meet the challenge, constantly adjusted to the model that we were putting in place, constantly was contributing to the model. And that's what we were looking to see. Did we have someone that had that capacity? And the answer is we do.
How many candidates did you interview formally? You said you kind of considered all and people reached out, but how many did you actually interview?
0.
Got one more. Dr. Crowe, you mentioned being past the NCAA investigation. I understand there's a bifurcated process and there's an ongoing component to that, but are there additional things that you could say now that you weren't able to say previously as it relates to punishments of individuals from Edwards and others, and your thoughts on the determinations and the penalties?
Well, what we had was a great outcome. I'm not going to walk through every individual participant or what have you. We can have another conversation about those things, not for today. But we believe that the NCAA concluded that we did a great job identifying the problem, solving the problem, and finding a way to move forward. And our penalties reflect their perception of the job that we did.
Good.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.